Okay, I'm making this quick recording to demonstrate the issues I've been talking about on the duck, about space, how it's not convolving correctly. I'm going to demonstrate with a stereo-to-stereo impulse response. Let me show you my setup here. I've got a mono track with a single sample in the file. I use a pencil tool to draw a full on, and then I edit it down so that there's a single sample in this audio file. Single sample impulse that will go through the through space, and then we can view the output. The impulse response I'm going to use is the Rune Church impulse response, stereo to stereo impulse response. If you are familiar with the nomenclature that space uses for stereo to stereo and the mono to quad and the rest of those, being able to load those impulse responses. This is left input, and then 1 signifies left output. Left input, 2 signifies right output. Are obviously right input, and 1 is left output. Right input and 2 is right output. So we got left left, left right, right left, right right impulses, or impulse responses that space is going to use to convolve the stereo to stereo convolution. So I have my sample on a mono track. I'm routing that through a stereo aux track, and that's where I have space loaded. And the stereo aux track is then routed to the audio 1 and audio 2, so I can print the result. Since there's only one sample being routed through the impulse response, we should get a near identical recording, a print of what the actual impulse response loaded in is. First thing I noticed about space, my dry is completely off. My wet is up. There is no impulse response loaded. If I hit play, we get a pop. That's not right. We shouldn't be getting a pop. So space is allowing audio through on the wet channel when there's no impulse response loaded. That's a bug. So I'm going to go in and we're going to load up a stereo to stereo impulse response. We're going to do the Rune Chapel or Church. And I'm guessing that it's pronounced Rune. I don't know any other way to pronounce it. So we go down here and we choose stereo to stereo. And we are loaded. If we look here, we'll see it recognizes that we have a 2 in, 2 out impulse response. If we go obviously to a mono to stereo, it's going to be 1 in, excuse me, that's mono to 5.0. If we go into a mono to stereo, it's going to say 1 in, 2 out. But on stereo to stereo, it's 2 in, 2 out. It recognizes and it's loaded up a 2 in, 2 out impulse response. We again have the wet all on, dry completely off. I'm routed. Let's route strictly to the left side, so that we'll print the left input, left out, left input, right out in this first track. We'll go ahead and do that. Okay. And then we're going to do likewise with the right input, left output, right input, right output. Okay, now let's go ahead and normalize these so we can see them more in a normal size. And if you understand what you're looking at, you'll see already there's something wrong. The left input, left output is swapped. And in fact, it may even be convolving with both the left side with the right input, right output, and the right side with the right input, right output convolution. I don't think the left input, left output, left in, left out, left in, right out convolution is being used at all. Since our sample is one sample, it's a second sample actually in that file, we can scoot, let's go back to the slip. We'll scoot these ahead by one sample just to line it up a little better. And yes, those look pretty near identical, pretty much like that one down there. And if we want to look at the late cross channel, yep, that looks like that one right there. More so than it looks like this one here. So yeah, it looks like what's happening is both the left input and right input are being convolved with the right to left and right to right convolutions in a stereo to stereo impulse response. So that's what I'm seeing here.